Welcome back, you beautiful, wonderful people of the Shield Wall Nation. This video is how much ammo should I store? Now, let's get into this. Now, I'm kind of amazed by I have a small fan base as of right now. I know I have like 59 people, subscribers. So if you're watching this video years from now and I have thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers, as you're watching this video, currently I have 59. That is 59, not 59,000. 59, 2 digits. And the little bit of a fan base I have, I'm loving it. I'd love to have more so I can get this everything out, but this fan base is very active. And the one question is, well, based off my other video of which caliber should I have in an SHTF, which I stated it was 9mm, or for a rifle is 5.56. I've had questions through emails and messages through Facebook and things like that. Is okay, how much should I store? How much is enough? Well, this video hopefully will give you some sort of insight on if it's too much or too little or not enough or whatever it may be. Me. So, let's start off with the calibers. If based on my other video, if I remember, I'll put it up above. Make sure you're storing ammunition for the weapon that you're going to use the most. And also, if you're within a group, whether it's a family, a militia, a mag, a prepper group of some kind, neighbors, make sure you also you store that ammo along with them. Make sure they're storing it too. Share this video to them. Say, hey, guess what? We need to get on the same wavelength and start doing this. So make sure you're buying ammo for that particular case and that particular weapon for that scenario. But also you can buy ammo for your guns that you like shooting as well. I'm not telling you can't do that anymore. So, how much is too little? Well, of course, none is too little, right? But you also want to have enough to fill up a few magazines or whatever it is. The minimum you want for each weapon system is about 100. But especially if you're focusing on like this caliber, like I said, that's also kind of focusing on a weapon system, is 100 rounds. You want to start off at 100 rounds. Get there, and you're going to be not in a bad situation. So every paycheck, or whichever, if it's either once a week you get paid, or twice a week you get, or once every 2 weeks you get paid, just go pick up a box. Now it's kind of getting a little more expensive, but you're looking around $20-$30 for a small box of like 20-30 rounds. So go and buy some. Do the math. Like I said in the other video, you don't want to be spending way too much on ammo. There's places that you can get online or in a business that you can pay, and you should be paying anywhere between 30 to 40 cents a round. So you go do the math, you go see, hey, that box is X amount of dollars divided by how many rounds are in that box, and then that's how you get your pennies per round, right? Okay. So kind of focus on that. You don't want to be spending 70 cents a round. I've seen some that are like 100 cents. I mean, like $1 a round. So buy smart, right? A lot of people go, 55 grain, 62 grain, 70 something grain. They focus on all that, but hey, as long as you get rounds, it doesn't matter. Once you establish a safe amount of rounds, which I'll talk about later, then you can start worrying about the grains you get. 62 grain. You can worry about that later. steel core, tracer rounds, armor piercing, some other kind of armor piercing rounds. You can worry about that later, but just get rounds in order to, because guess what? Either way, if I get hit by any of those rounds, I'm dead. Right? So get rounds. If I'm a person trying to break into your house, an animal trying to break into your house, or you're hunting animals, or the animals are hunting you and you got to hunt back, a round going downrange at your enemy, whether it be a horned enemy or one that looks like me, a round will kill it. Right? So, I digress. So, establish a baseline of 100 rounds. Then, as you, every paycheck or so, you start buying a small box here and a small box there, and it will start adding up. You'll see that 100 rounds eventually come to 200, and 500, 800, and oh my gosh, you have 1,000. Right? It adds up. It's just like pennies. Putting pennies in a jar eventually adds up to $1. So, that's what you need to do. So try to add zeros to this. Right? So, 100. Try to get to 1,000. Try to get to then 5,000, 10,000. Then be the crazy neighbor, right? But the thing is, you're trying to build your weapon system and give it the fuel for your weapon system, right? So let's just use 5.56 as an example. Gather as much 5.56 as you can. Because guess what? When S does SHTF, you can feed your weapon systems. So, let's say you have 1,000 rounds. That's a good amount. That's a good amount to start with. So, but you had to feed your weapon system, right? And then your wife's weapon system or husband's weapon system. If your child is old enough, your child's, right? Let's say you have 2 children. That can operate a weapon safely, old enough to do so, right? I'm saying of age. That's 4 people. 1,000 divided by 4, you're looking at 250 rounds. You're looking at a few magazines that you're feeding. I mean, you're looking at what, 7, 8 magazines? That's enough. But once you start returning heavy fire after getting heavy fire, it goes quickly. That's why I say keep adding. Don't stop. Just add and add and add. Right? So don't stop. So then let's say you take those 1,000 rounds, right? And then boom, apocalypse happens. SHTFs, the TEOTWAWKIs itself, the world without law. It starts you go to your prepper group, right? Your mag, your neighborhood, and you start sectioning off. Well, Timmy down the road or Timmy within your group has 100 rounds, right? Well, you got to feed his too, because depending on your rules of your group is what you bring in you get to keep, but try to be a community, or what you bring in automatically goes to the community. Whatever rules you set up, you're gonna eventually start feeding other people, right? Rounds. I'm talking about rounds here. So your 1,000 rounds, you personally might end up with 400 rounds. Because everyone else wasn't prepared. But you want to make sure you feed their weapon systems, because you don't want to be the only one firing. Everyone's like, well, I'll just sit here, and then, 20 other guns are down now, but you have your 1 or 2 up, right? So you have to help feed their system. So that's why I say add zeros and add numbers and just keep saving and saving and saving and saving and saving and saving. You're adding up. So then you have 5,000 rounds, 10,000 rounds of 5.56. You have 10,000 rounds of 9mm. Once you get to a safe spot where you can sit back and go, I think 10,000 rounds of this stuff is good. I think so. Then you start putting rounds, putting money to the rounds that you have fun with. 38 Special, 40 Smith & Wesson, 308, 7.62, which is the same. 30-06, 22, just go plank, just shoot to shoot, You start adding to that. And eventually you go, wow, I got a lot of ammo. But yeah, you got a lot of ammo. But also realize your situation. There's a lot of, I've seen a lot of videos and kind of to help organize my brain, is there's a lot of videos that don't mention this, and some kind of touch on it just a little bit, just a little sprinkle, little salt, Salt Bay sprinkle, is a lot of people don't mention the weight. They mention, oh, if you have, 7 magazines and that weighs this much. No, I'm talking about, like, you're in a situation where if things really get bad, you have to bug out. Not if you're in a situation where you're way in the middle of nowhere and you're not going to bug out unless a marauding force happens to be going your way and you have no way to defend. And you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect this to happen right now. I expected a year down the line, but not right now. Oh my gosh, now I got to bug out. No, I'm talking about if you have to bug out, like you're in a city, right? Right? So rounds weigh a lot. So you have to consider, while you're throwing all your kids' clothes and blankets and your wife or husband's clothes and blankets and food and this, that into your vehicle, into your trailer, and your weapons, and you now got to consider 10,000 rounds of this, 10,000 rounds of that, then rounds, right? That weighs a lot. We got to consider weight, transporting it for a bug out situation. Unless you're in a situation where you don't have to bug out necessarily, things could always go south. Consider that too. Consider the amount of rounds and the weight that you have to consider while bugging out. So maybe 10,000 rounds isn't really feasible for you. Maybe 1,000 rounds. Maybe 2,000 rounds. Maybe you go, well, 2,000 rounds is this much. I have 2,000 rounds on my table. It's this much. It weighs this amount. Okay. I need 2,000 rounds for my 5.56, 1,000 rounds for my 9mm, because of the sidearm. You should not be having that many rounds and depending on your sidearm that much, right? So 2,000, 1,000. It weighs a lot. I think I can transport it. Oh, wait, no, I probably can't. Let me take it down to 1,500 rounds for my 5.56 and 500 rounds for my 9mm. I think I can transport this safely with all the other stuff. It doesn't take a lot of space. It weighs sufficiently enough to put in my vehicle. Hopefully you have a big enough vehicle. Okay, now that's sufficient. But if you have a bug out location, you can start storing ammo there, right? I'm having, in my current situation, 1,500 rounds of 5.56, 500 rounds of 9mm, but in my other location, I have about 10,000 rounds of each. At that bug out location, that's my friend's house, I have that amount, right? I have my own, I go and store my own food over there, my own water over there. He or she gave me this area to store stuff just in case something happens. I love them, thank you. I got that over there. So now my job is to safely get over there. So maybe you don't even need 1,500 rounds. You just need enough for your plate carrier, right? Things to consider is moving the ammo. Anyways, this video's gone on long enough. I don't want to bore you to death and go, gosh, G, shut up. Quiet, you talk too much. So, anyways, consider the amounts, consider adding to your amounts, and consider the amount that you can feasibly move to a safer location. So think about that. So anyways, before I even do my little sign off, right? Make sure you go down below, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that little bell notification icon too, because that will inform you when I put up a video for your brain to swell with knowledge. Shield Wall Nation, stay strong, stay resilient. Shield Wall